You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, YNR fans, I've got your 2-week spoilers for November 18th through the 29th. We're going to have Victor Newman Blindsided, Ian plotting, and some preemptions to talk about. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and if you have not, please reach down, click subscribe. Now let's get busy. Monday, November 18th, we have got lots of stuff coming in the aftermath from all the action on Friday, the post-wedding action with high drama. Jack and Diane explained to Kyle all the lengths they went to get him away from Victor, including, faking their split, Jack fake firing her from Jabot, all of the arguments. And basically, we all saw it. They tried to tell Kyle he can't trust Victor and he's using him, but Kyle was being a brat and he wouldn't listen. So they had to demonstrate him. Kyle is super salty about some of the things Diane said. And both she and Jack remind Kyle that he was kind of out of control at Jabot and needed a reality check, and that he did some things he shouldn't have done. He betrayed family. He ran to Victor. He stole from Jabot, and they did risk a lot trying to get him away from Kyle. Claire is very shocked by everything that she has seen her granddad do. She and Kyle take off and talk it over, and she's shocked about her granddad, and she also really thinks that he should forgive his parents. He's not quite ready yet, but she thinks he needs to let that anger go. And Jack and Diane are so happy not to have to pretend anymore and passionately reunite. So over at the hospital, Summer and Daniel are very worried about Phyllis. She's not awake. Elena has run some scans. There's some kind of brain injury from where she hit the tree, and they're in a watch and wait phase. And Daniel's begging his mom to wake up. He can't lose anybody else. He's lost Heather. He had to send Lucy away, and he's just traumatized. Speaking of trauma, Nick cannot believe it when Sharon says everything that Phyllis accused her of, she actually did. He thinks that she's saying these things because her meds are confusing, and she tells him she's been hallucinating Cameron and he's been telling her to do these bad things, and that she blacked out, killed Heather, panicked, dumped the body, framed Daniel. And some of these things are part of the setup. Like, obviously Jordan or Ian killed Heather, but she did dump the body and she did frame Daniel herself. She did actual crimes, just not the murder. She can't live with the guilt. She wants to confess to Chance. She wants to be arrested. Faith refuses to believe it. She thinks that Phyllis has terrorized her mother into wanting to make a false confession to get her to back off. And Sharon has to convince Faith that it's just not the case, that Phyllis was actually right and she did this. And Summer and Daniel are shocked to hear that he has to go over to Sharon's, and they are very curious because the accident happened right by Sharon's, and this is already bubbling up questions. And so Chance heads over there, and he is stunned when Sharon says, get the DA to drop the charges against Daniel. It's me. Tuesday, November 19th, we have Victor and Diane talking. He is ready to send her the papers to transfer Glissade over to her, but it looks like he's got one more condition, and it may be something to make sure that she is permanently apart from Jack. Now, I think she's going to have to agree to something, and it's going to cause more problems. And Daniel confronts Nick. He wants some answers about what Sharon has done, what she's confessed to. Daniel's going to lose it when he finds out that Phyllis was apparently right. And Ian and Jordan are shoring up their frame game to make sure that Sharon really goes down for their crimes. Wednesday, November 20th, Sally is settling up things, settling a score with somebody. Kind of interesting. Daniel wants justice for Phyllis. He wants justice for Heather. He is on fire. And Michael and Christine are discussing Sharon's confession. And, did she do this? Did she not? It doesn't make sense. Despite what Phyllis was saying and all that, they just don't see Sharon capable of cold-blooded murder. Thursday, November 21st, Summer has to make a hard decision. And it may be about Phyllis's, medical welfare, because Elena is giving her an update on how they think they can best help Phyllis get through this crisis. And Jack finds out that Diane had to make a sacrifice for the family when dealing with Victor. Hopefully it won't keep her from reuniting with Jack, but, maybe they're going to have to stay separate for a while longer. I don't know. Going into the holidays, it's pretty drastic, but we know that Victor is just being monstrous at this point. Friday, November 22nd, Billy and Sally are fighting temptation. I don't know why they're even fighting. And Victor announces Nikki's new role as the boss at Chancellor. And Chance is investigating, and he finds evidence pointing to Sharon's guilt. Once again, he is falling for planted evidence. Maybe Chance needs to go back to corporate life, because he's just not great at being a cop at this point. This is another time he's just falling into things. November 25th through the 29th, we should have a rerun on Thursday, November 28th on Thanksgiving Day, and a preemption for CBS sports coverage on Friday, the 29th. That's what usually happens. We haven't seen the official preemption info yet. Phyllis is going to be awake soon. Her phone records are going to implicate Sharon with those texts. Phyllis's testimony, once she wakes up and can remember, should also implicate Sharon. She fully believes she was texting her. Faith, of course, will speak up and say Sharon couldn't find her phone, but, Chance didn't bother looking at people's alibis, so I don't think he's going to pay much attention to that. On top of conveniently placed evidence, he's not exactly a top cop, right? Sharon's fate seems sealed between her confession and the planted evidence against her, and Fairview seems the likely destination. Sharon's family is going to be reeling in shock and belief. Daniel and Summer are upset with Chance and Sharon's defenders. And Victor, of course, is feeling smug about besting Jack and Billy and Lily and getting his hands on Chancellor. He is poised, though, to be blindsided when Ian and his sidekick Jordan target Victor and his loved ones. And I'm quite certain that's what's coming next. Billy and Sally take the next step soon, and I wonder if they might have their holidays together. And I've seen some outrageous clickbait, you guys, about Sally being Ian Ward's daughter. Just don't click on that garbage. Come on. Sally is not Ian Ward's daughter. Her parents are carnies. She has a very deep and established history over on Bold and the Beautiful. Plus, Ian is infertile. That has been hard-coded, proven, if you know your why in our history. Okay, Kyle is warming up to his parents soon after the sacrifices they made, and hopefully they will have a legit Abbott family Thanksgiving, but I know that, Ashley and Tracy may not be too happy to have Diane at the table, if indeed she can be. We'll have to see what Victor's caveat was on that Glissade deal. And we're going to wait to see if Lily is going to go quietly and peacefully over to Winters with her brother and cousin, or if she is going to focus on revenge on Nikki and on Victor.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.